on CJTV News, we go to Engage Ottawa to look at the rising costs of weddings. Our Killian Schlemmer talks to Barack Hussein about end-of-semester stress for students.
It was like a kick in the stomach at first.
And I speak with James Duthie about what the new Rogers NHL deal means for TSN.
Drug driving will be the focus of National Safe Driving Week, which started today. Drug driving can be just as dangerous as drunk driving. 35.3% of drivers who died in 2009 were impaired by drugs, while 40.9% were impaired by alcohol, according to the Canada Safety Council. Before the week's official start, a verdict was delivered Saturday in an Ottawa drunk driving case. Maxime Morin-LeBlanc was charged with criminal negligence causing the death of Alexandra Dodger in October 2011. He was also charged with impaired driving and refusing to take a police breathalyzer test. But the roadwork didn't put a damper on Ottawa's brides and grooms-to-be. When it comes to weddings, people are increasingly after more luxuries. The average Canadian wedding now tops $30,000. Engage Ottawa, a local wedding show, recently put this trend on display at the Chateau Laurier Hotel. CJTV's Alex Vronces went on the ground for details. Ontarians can expect to see their hydro bill increase. Energy Minister Bob Chiarelli hopes to help Ontario consumers control their hydro costs. These costs have been attributed to cancelled gas plants and subsidized wind and solar energy. The Ontario government proposed new legislation banning university and college campuses from selling cigarettes. Samantha Lem looks into what this could mean for the Carleton community. While emails are causing Stephen Harper stress, students are facing a similar plight. Exams and final projects are tough, but students have options. Killian Schlemmer is live with the Carleton University counselor. Canadian shoppers are familiar with Black Friday and Cyber Monday. This year, Giving Tuesday hopes to complete the trilogy. The event encourages Canadians to give back. Victoria Maybe has more. Local band Patterson All will release its first album tomorrow. The group of Carleton students formed about a year ago. They spent the summer recording their album. Here's Patterson All with its first song, Empty Voice. A great tribute with a poor result. Ottawa Senators fans welcomed Daniel Alfredson back to the city for the first time since he signed with the Detroit Red Wings in July. Alfredson was greeted with a standing ovation. Alfie chants were heard throughout the night. Some fans even held a fake funeral to honor their former captain. Unfortunately for Sens fans, Alfredson had a goal and an assist to lead his new Red Wings team to a 4-2 win. Sticking with hockey, the NHL inked a new 12-year, $5.2 billion broadcasting deal with Rogers. Now, many are wondering what will happen to Bell-owned TSN after losing its national hockey rights. I sat down yesterday with NHL on TSN host and Carleton journalism alum James Duthie to talk about the Rogers deal and a Q&A he had at Carleton Friday night. What was it like to go back to your alma mater and get to talk to the students?
It brought back a lot of memories of what it was like back then when you're about to embark on your career and you have no idea where it's going. And I like most students, I had no idea where I was going to end up, but I'm pretty glad I ended up here. And the questions were great from everybody. It was a really fun time.
I'm sure plenty of questions at your Carleton Q&A were focused on Rogers' new $5.2 billion agreement with the NHL for broadcasting rights. What were your initial reactions when you found out about the news?
It was like a kick in the stomach at first. It was a shock. Of all the scenarios I'd gone through about the rights, this was not one of them. But you know what? You get back up off the floor and you say, TSN is not going anywhere. It is still going to be, we think, the primary voice of hockey commentary. Things like the quiz and insider trading aren't going anywhere. And we have a ton of other things. We're the home of all football and all the golf majors, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll be okay, but it was shocking.
Yeah, you mentioned you never imagined this would happen. Why was that?
I don't know. I didn't think it was possible for Gary Bettman to cut out a partner who had been, I think, not only incredibly loyal, but had grown the game a lot in the last 12 years. I'm biased, obviously, but I think that TSN's coverage was second to none, and I think that we did a really good job with the NHL growing the game. So I think that's why it never occurred to me that we'd ever get shut out. I thought maybe we wouldn't get the whole enchilada, or maybe we wouldn't get, I always figured we'd at least have the cable rights again, the Wednesday night games. So that's why it was shocking.
So, after everything that's gone on in the past week, what does the future hold for both you and for TSN?
That's a great question. Like I said, TSN will be fine. We're going to amp up our coverage of hockey. We're going to go out and get a lot of other sports that are available. Myself, I hope to be there for a long time. But you never know. And we're 5 days into this or so, or 6 days into this, and I'm still trying to let it all settle. My head's a little bit swirling, but we'll all be okay.
James, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate talking to somebody like you.
My pleasure, buddy.